Hello everybody, welcome to the Fussboi channel, and there's a sort of problem I've been noticing as of late. As you know, collectibles have been a sort of trend lately. Not just Labubus or Pokemon cards, but some really crazy stuff like an X-ray of Pikachu or SpongeBob or a crystallized version of Pikachu. We have really unique stuff like that, but then we have a very, I guess we could call it slop version of that, or even Funko Popification of a collectible figure. These figures are always using the same IPs, but just in a different style, their own wacky, in parentheses, style, a la a U2's Funko Pop or Soda. And two of these are owned by Funko. And that's kind of a running theme. I mean, Funko alone, off the top of my head, owns Funko Gold, Sodas, Mondos for a bit, Funko Pops, which, they have their own subsidiaries, Bitty Pops, the AirPods. What else? What else do they have? The keychains. Also, the, I don't know what they were called. Maybe the Freddies? Where they have, like, their Freddy Funko guy as different characters. They have mother hecking. Even ramens. They have a new ramen thing. I saw a video of San Diego Comic-Con, and they just have a bunch of different brands, I also see Popsies. Holy crap, there's so many. There are so many Funko Pop things. And even, I think they announced ramen. They announced Funko Ramen. Some freaking Funko figures that are in a ramen line. But even before Funko Pops, they had another figure line, which started with that Burger Bob guy, or whatever his name, which I did not name them in the script, but what were they called? Fantastic Plastics, or Wacky Wobblers, something like that. See, even there, they have those two right there. Then that was before Funko Pops. I think they were always just trying to get into that niche and find something that became successful later on. But yeah, I mean, nothing will stop Funko. They even made Loungefly, which are like backpacks and purses and wallets, of course, of Disney and anime and all that stuff. All the IPs, they literally just make stuff from other IPs. But I mean, people like them. People like them. I won't get too heated, but yeah, I really don't know what stopped Funko. I'm wondering if we could even see a Funko Batman coffin. I don't know, I feel like Funko will make a collectible of anything, That's kind of what it seems nowadays. But yeah, nah, I'm joking. But yeah, it is super crazy to me that Funko owns so many collectible figure brands. But not only is there Funko, but also, as I mentioned before, as I got ran through by Funko, is a memorabilia company that is kind of like, I don't want this video to be bashing Funko, but a lot of it is. So Funko, I'm sorry, I actually respect the grind. Maybe it's okay, maybe not. it's a little too much, but let's just get on with the video. Okay, come on. But not only is there Funko, but also, as I mentioned before, as I got ran through by Funko, is a memorabilia company that is kind of like McFarlane Toys. It's kind of what I saw looking at their products. High quality, to my knowledge, figures of like comic book characters, and I saw some other franchises. I'm not really sure, like, yeah, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is comic, so yeah, that, but some other stuff too. They sell shirts, they sell prints, all that stuff. Not Prince as in Prince, the artist. I'm talking about Prince. Prints, photo prints. But yeah, Mondo also has Over the Garden walls that they just announced, I saw. This whole video was sparked actually because I saw the Top Pops video of SDCC and the sheer amount of brand slop I saw over there. But yeah, there was just so many collectible figure brands that I could see, and no hate to them, but it's just so crazy that they're kind of a copy and paste type item. Oh, make Batman in our style, make SpongeBob in our style. It's just slop. And I do think they're pretty good for the average person. Not everyone can spend an unruly amount like $30 for an SH Figuarts. Actually, I think there may be even 40. I'm not really too sure, but yeah, on top of it, it's very small. They're small figures. You can't really show them off. I mean, you can, but they're not super big, They're very thin. Just, they look like the character. It definitely get covered by like a pen cup or a little flower pot, They're just not that big. But something like a Funko Pop or a Thrill Joy, they're nice and thick, you know, they got some heft to them. Very good for displaying, pretty light on the wallet. And yes, you can get some cheaper traditional figures, but like I said, they're not as big, but definitely a good alternative to those who can't buy SH Figuarts. And they've actually made a lot of characters who you can't even get now in SH Figuarts, like Ace and Sabo. And by alternatives, I'm talking about the Anime Heroes line by Bandai Namco. I actually think they also own SH Figuarts, but yeah, besides that, I feel like something that can actually combat the Funko Pop or U2s is actually Japanese vending machine prize statues. Yeah, believe it or not, these are pretty freaking thick and tall. They really are just the perfect display item. Their size is amazing, and likeness, depending on which brand you get, is captured amazingly. I think if you can spend extra $5 just to get a statue of the character you really like, because more likely than not, it will look a lot nicer, and not just a commercialized spitball of the character you really like. And for those who love limited edition Funko Pops, there are limited versions of these statues that are really freaking sick. Most of the ones I've seen are of Dragon Ball statues, but I'm pretty sure there's also like limited edition Hatsune Miku ones and maybe even One Piece ones as well. Going back to these collectible figures though, something that I've noticed is there's just too many. Not only brands, but there's so many characters. Just in one wave of, let's take Funko for example. As I was gonna go look for one wave of figures, I see Funko announce 70 more figures. And this could prove to be an issue because as we've seen before, you see a lot of Funko Pops in the clearance aisle because there are just so many of them. I mean, not only that, but they have so many things, pop moments, pop albums, all that stuff. Some of that stuff is just lame. Like I saw a Kingdom Hearts, I think it was, Sora, and he wasn't even in the same pose as the character in the image behind him. Like, if you're gonna make something like that, at least make it what you're promoting, you know? Like this, it just straight up wasn't even the right pose, you know? But yeah, with so many brands coming out, I'm pretty sure we're gonna see other brands fall victim to this. But I think there's actually a slight bright side to this. Although these brands are coming out with a lot of figures, to avoid said figures becoming eventual landfill waste, they are limiting numbers. I think I saw some sort of Funko Shop thing where they give you the numbers of the figure, which in theory would be a problem with scalpers or whatever, but I really don't think these figures are targeted so heavily by bots as something like Pokemon cards are, unless it's super limited. That means if you really want the figure you want, you'll more likely than not get it if you're just there on release date. Of course, the really limited figures are still going to be pretty hard to obtain and get a big price tag on them, but that's expected for any exclusive item. But I think that's a good direction to go on, because let's be honest, do we really need a wide release of Blue from Thrill Joy? I mean, they can't even get rid of this one from 2024 and it was limited to 3,000 pieces. Yeah, I'm not picking on Funko this time. But yeah, I really hope that more of these brands limit the amount of slop that they come out with, because when the market is so saturated with a character you want, you're one, not going to have a lot of money to buy the certain character from all these brands, but also, why would you? Why in the world would you buy this Batman Funko soda, especially for $17? Have you seen the size of these things? That's another problem with all these vinyl figures. Using these high quality, if you can even call it that, materials to make this dog shit is unruly, especially if you need to spend $20 on this Marshall D. Teach pop with protector, or this piece of shit Chaos with pop protector. Why the fuck does this need to be $40? This is the stupidest, most money hungry, greedy thing I've seen. Well, maybe not, but what the fuck? Yeah, it's limited, but is that really why you should pay $40? They literally made the product, and this whole rarity thing just pisses me the fuck off.
Ah yes, using a system that we made and control completely because we make the product, this legendary rarity, it will be $40, and it'll be like we're actually selling 2,400 figures because we're charging double and artificially limiting them. They'll sell like hotcakes.
Now, I did say that limiting the figure was fine because if you want it, you'll get it, but this is such an underhanded tactic of promotion. Saying that limited number will definitely ring alarm bells in collectors' heads, instilling that sense of FOMO, especially in this day and age where scalpers are running rampant and flipping whatever cool thing comes out. And I actually even fell into this trap because I pre-ordered a 4-pack of Sonic characters and DC suits. It's actually really cool, but the main reason I got it was because there was a Shadow and Batman suit figurine in there that wasn't going to release alone, unlike the Sonic and Silver in that set. And with Sonic being so popular, and this being a really cool collab, I did not want to miss out, or worse, have a lot of scalpers buy it out and charge twice the price down the line, because to me, this seems like it'll be super sought after, and it doesn't even say it's limited on the box. But yeah, going back to Funko, not only is artificially putting limits on Pops bad, but since you're needing to get it because of its limited quantity, you have no choice but to pay that $40 price tag. And you might be saying, "Oh, Fussboi, but it's translucent, it has to be more expensive." Well, no, you're not only wrong, but for defending $1 billion company. Of course, that wouldn't be the case. A translucent Michelangelo Funko Pop can be found on their store right now for the retail price of a Funko Pop. They just know people will buy this figure not only because they want it, but because they have that sense of emergency. Like, oh my god, it's limited. If I don't get it now, I'll need to get it for more down the line. When in reality, this probably would have been the price of the figure resale anyway. I mean, I gotta really give a round of applause to Funko for the way they have really locked this system down. Wow, good job, guys. Even having NFTs of Funko Pops, having you buy a bunch of them so you can get... I actually don't even know how that whole system works, but I don't know. I think it's like you rarely get an actual Funko Pop or something like that, but yeah. They even do that stuff. They're just doing a whole lot of things and squeezing every single cent they can out of the consumer. And don't even get me started on chase versions of a pop. And you know what? The chase Funko Pop is probably the least dangerous version of chase items that Funko sells, because you can already see if it's a chase or not when you're in the store, unless of course you order online. But I'm really not sure if you can even get chases online. But a lot of blind box collectibles like Funko Soda, Thrill Joy, and even the new Rokomoto gives you a chance to get a chase from these boxes. And that's not even mentioning the mystery boxes that Funko sells. Now, normally this would be fine, but the chances of getting a chase are usually like 1 in 6, at least for the Funko Pops, that is. And almost every figure has a chase, and when you need to pay $15 just for one figure, trying to find the chase is just absolutely ridiculous. Realistically, you should not be spending your hard-earned money trying to get Mantis with her green uniform. And it looks like you won't have to. As I said earlier, a lot of less sought after sodas are on extreme clearance. I mean, not only is the Mantis on sale, but this Jiminy Cricket, Sasuke, and Hercule are as well. And Hercules are as well, but I can see why. Why the hell would you spend $15 on this Mantis with a style that doesn't even suit her at all? Especially with how the economy is right now. Nobody should be spending any of their money buying these piece of shit figures. I mean, how are they gonna be able to afford their Labubus and Dubai chocolates? Or their $30 Hailey Bieber shakes from Erewhon? Seriously, seeing these Funko clones come up and not do anything new has kind of been pissing me off, and I highly doubt that it's sustainable. I mean, even myself, I always struggle thinking, well, why would somebody watch my videos when there's thousands of other channels that you can watch and basically get the same thing? It's the same thing with these companies. With a giant company Funko already dominating the game, what is it that these brands are bringing to the table that Funko already isn't? They're all not changing the style of the character very much, and charging prices for them that make me sick to my stomach, fam. I mean, I guess Thrilljoy is kinda doing something new with the Pixies, but that's literally just with the packaging. You know, the little zipper thing. That's nothing too crazy. When you open the zipper, the figure is still just another slop figure getting an IP that Funko already owns. But U2's, on the other hand, is doing something kind of new. You know, they have these figures all with these eyes. You know, that's their thing. That's what makes their figures special. And they're actually in a nice little niche where they make YouTuber memorabilia or even streamer memorabilia, and of quality as well. But I mean, they kind of fall into that same trap that Funko does, making 3 of the same character. Like, I think that raccoon eggs, I don't even know who that is. But yeah, they just do a lot of that. And then they started making products of IPs that Funko owns. They just made shittier Funko Pops, like the Demon Slayer one. I don't know about anime, if they've done any other anime, but it's just, there's no point in making those things. I mean, if you're a diehard U2's fan, of course you're gonna get that over the Funko Pop version of it, but let's be really honest. Are you going to buy a U2's Batman figure or a Funko Pop Batman figure? And a lot of these figures don't even have the U2's eyes. It's really just, what point are you making these figures for? It's just, I don't even know. It pisses me off sometimes. It pisses me off. And things like this are what make me get why companies are more stingy with their IP. Once you open up that Pandora's box, your franchise gets ran through by the capitalist machine, making posters, figures, clothing, even fast food collabs. That's why I really like the direction that, I don't know if this was actually his idea, but for the sake of the conversation, let's just say it was. But that's why I really like the direction that Shigesato Itoi went with making memorabilia for the Mother franchise, starting the Hobonichi Mother project with, from what I can tell, high quality plushies, keychains, clothing, and posters. Now, I know that's exactly what I was listing as being bad, but these items actually have a lot of care put into them and have really neat callbacks to the games. Like an actual Franklin badge being available for purchase, the really cool Pollyanna book, these super awesome plushies featuring the party of each respective game, a hilarious Bonnie from Mother 3 plush, and something that I'm actually really excited for, a complete replica of the clay models that you see a lot of when you look for images of Earthbound. Stuff like this is really cool and doesn't even have me question whether it's worth it or not. But alas, not every franchise has a fan base that will buy things like this for the price they are especially. A lot of franchises have mostly kid audiences where they don't have their own money. I mean, imagine your child comes up to you and asks for a $75 Bonnie plush. You'll probably be like, 1, why do you even know about this yet? You're 5 years old. And 2, there's no way you're buying them this, especially when it's just a plush. But if they ask for the Super Saiyan 4 Goku doing the Dragon Fist, you'll most likely buy that for them since it's only $14. And that cheaper option is really cool, but not when there's 10 different figures of the same character for 10 different brands. All in all, I say really just value your money, and if you want the fast food equivalent to a figure, I can't blame you. I myself owned Funko Pops a few years ago, and it was nice. I could just buy a figure of a character I like, especially in a time I wasn't working or really getting money like that. And hey, if you like something, don't let anybody change your opinion on it, because it's not bad to like something that you're interested in. I hope you guys enjoyed me ramble about a problem that I've been seeing, and I really just hope it doesn't get to a boiling point and all these brands are gonna be found in dumpsters instead of a Target shelf. But anyways, I hope you have a great morning, and our night, and our day. And thank you for listening to me yap about all this. Have a good one. Peace.